the Chi-Town experience on the flight. Let me go tune in to Keek on the mic. He gon' make sure we get our news and highlights. When you get on YouTube, you better hit the like.
Were the Chicago Bears draft plans just leaked in a recent interview? Hey, what's going on, Bears fans? Thank you so much for joining me for another episode of Keek on the Mic, the podcast all about the Chicago Bears. As always, if you're new to the channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Bears fans, before we go any further with today's episode of Keek on the Mic, I just want to take a moment to reflect on the life of Virginia McCaskey. If you guys have not heard the news, the Chicago Bears just announced that Virginia McCaskey passed away this morning at the age of 102. In a statement from the Bears on Virginia McCaskey, they said, "While we are sad, we are comforted knowing Virginia Hallis McCaskey lived a long, full, faith-filled life and is now with the love of her life on earth," the family said. She guided the Bears for 4 decades and based every business decision on what was best for the Bears players, coaches, staff, and fans. Bears fans, this is a sad day in Chicago Bears history, and we need to keep success out of it. How many championships that she won when she was the owner of the Chicago Bears. We need to keep everything out of it, because today is a very sad day in Chicago Bears history. The one thing I can tell you when reflecting on Virginia McCaskey, and they said it perfectly in this statement to her, she guided the Bears for 4 long decades, and she cared and loved the city of Chicago, the Chicago Bears organization, Bears players, Bears coaches, every single person that has ever walked into Hallis Hall gave their absolute best because of Virginia McCaskey, because that's what she expected from them, because that's exactly what Virginia McCaskey gave to those players, coaches, the city of Chicago. The Chicago Bears organization is her absolute best. And one thing I can tell you for certain, she absolutely loved the Chicago Bears fans. She did everything in her power to try to produce a winner here in Chicago. I thank you so much, Virginia McCaskey, for everything, every memory, right? And she's definitely an NFL icon. She will be very, very missed, but she lived a very beautiful, long life. 102 is an amazing life. And though we will miss her, she is now an angel up there with all her loved ones. And how beautiful is it that the very last game for her on earth was the Chicago Bears beating the Green Bay Packers in Lambeau Field. So rest in peace, Virginia. We all love you here in Chicago, and just may you rest in peace. Bears fans, go ahead, out of the respect of Virginia McCaskey, down below in the comment section, just put RIP Virginia for me. All right, Bears fans, now we're going to talk about a little update in regard to the Chicago Bears draft plans, because their draft plans may have just been leaked in a recent interview that Eddie George just did with this random podcast. As you guys all know, Eddie George interviewed for the Chicago Bears head coaching position. He was just talking about that interview on this recent podcast that he was on, just saying, hey, how the interview wasn't a sham. The Chicago Bears were really detailed with him, and they were going over, their personnel and their draft plans. And he basically just stated when the Bears, when he interviewed for the Bears head coaching position, they discussed potential draft targets. And he definitely possibly leaked their draft plans on this podcast. He basically just regarded the interest the Chicago Bears had, and not only Travion Henderson, but also Quinshon Judkins out of Ohio State. He said this, his name was definitely on that draft board when talking about Quinshon Judkins.
Is there any sort of insight on Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson and what they can provide an NFL team that drafts them?
I can say that when I interviewed with the Bears, at the head coaching position up there, we talked about personnel, we talked about needs, and his name was definitely on that board. I'm a big fan of Quinshon Judkins and Travion Henderson. I think they both have matured into quality backs. I'm glad to see that they had opportunities to run the football. But once they were involved both in the passing game, pass blocking, Quinshon Judkins is a grown man. Travion Henderson on the edges in terms of the passing game, being a receiver out the backfield is amazing. Travion showed that he can not only have breakaway speed, but he can hit it between the tackles, and he has answers for if a defense makes him check his feet, he can bounce to the second hole and find it. Quinshon, if a guy's unblocked, he's going to run through that first guy. He's going to make you miss with power or speed. I think Quinshon is a 1,500 to 2,000 yard running back given the right system in the league next year. He can be that bell horse guy. If the show is all his, he can deliver for you. I think he does everything well. Breakaway speed, great balance, great vision. He's got the ability to break tackles in between the tackles and inflict pain on defenders. I'm really a big fan of both of those running backs.
Bears fans, this is by no surprise to me that the Chicago Bears are interested in both of these names. And you know, it really doesn't matter if people know that the Chicago Bears are interested in both of these guys, because everyone knows that the Chicago Bears are most likely looking to upgrade the running back position. Ben Johnson, the second that he was hired as Chicago Bears head coach, the last interview that he did, the very next day, he said, hey, I want to upgrade the running back position. And then as we talked about yesterday, there's rumors going around saying the Chicago Bears are having exploratory talks to trade away DeAndre Swift. So that should tell you everything that you need to know about their interest in upgrading the running back position. Rather they trade away, DeAndre Swift or not, I still think they are going to add some more talent to the running back position. Guys that Ben Johnson really views that can really elevate this offense and hopefully elevate Caleb Williams to the next level, because he understands that a good rushing attack will really help Caleb Williams flourish here in Chicago. And he's just using the philosophy of what he had in Detroit with Jahmyr Gibbs and David Montgomery, building the offensive line, and he feels that can take Caleb Williams to the next level. But these two names are really interesting names. We have had a lot of talks about TreVeyon Henderson and his dynamic playmaking ability. Not only as a runner, but as a receiving threat. He's also a willing blocker as well. He's elusive, has long speed. He has good vision, good contact balance. The only thing about TreVeyon Henderson that may worry some people is his injuries concerns. He had a couple injuries at Ohio State. It seems like he's healthy and ready to go. But if he can stay healthy in the National Football League, he is going to make an NFL team very happy. Also, when you're looking at TreVeyon Henderson, a lot of people are starting to see him rise up the draft boards, maybe going late in the first round. We're hoping as Bears fans that he drops to the second round, maybe picks 39 and 41. Because he would be a key target for Ben Johnson, Ryan Poles, and the Chicago Bears to probably select him with one of those 2 second-round picks we have in the 2025 NFL Draft. Really love what TreVeyon Henderson would mean and what he would be and how he would be used in this Ben Johnson offense here in Chicago. I think he would be a massive asset to really take this offense to the next level and really help Caleb Williams go to the next level as well. When we're talking about Quinshon Judkins, he is also a very interesting prospect coming out of the 2025 NFL Draft and kind of rising up the draft boards as well. Probably not as much as TreVeyon Henderson. He's 6 foot, 219 pounds. He definitely depends more on his power. Still needs to develop more as a receiving threat out of the backfield, as a blocker as well. Those are things that he's going to have to work on as he makes that transition to the NFL. He also has that long speed, good contact balance. He's not as fast as TreVeyon Henderson. He's not going to, take it 60 yards to the house every single time and be that dynamic playmaker every single time like a TreVeyon Henderson. But he has the potential to be an impact day one player for any NFL team, and it could very well be the Chicago Bears. Once again, Ben Johnson, Ryan Poles, I think what they're looking for is a 3-down workhorse type of back, and that's exactly what Quinshon Judkins could be in the National Football League. He could be a 3-down back. Once again, still has to work on his receiving ability, still has to work on his blocking ability as well, and that can hinder him during this draft process, and which is probably the reason why he will drop to round 2. But I think if he is there in round 2, pick number 39 and 41 range for the Chicago Bears, I think it would be an outstanding pick for the Chicago Bears and their future at the running back position. Personally, if I had to choose from both of these guys, I would probably lean more on a TreVeyon Henderson. But the problem is I am just not sure if he is going to make it out of round 1. There is serious buzz. And I have talked to a lot of people, like other fan bases, saying, hey, we're also interested in TreVeyon Henderson. For example, I could see him going to the Denver Broncos at number 20. Sean Payton just was talking yesterday that he is looking possibly for another dynamic player at either the tight end position or running back position. So he could very well go late in the first round, but I am hoping for the Chicago Bears' sake that Henderson drops to the second round so the Chicago Bears can add a dynamic 3-down player like TreVeyon Henderson that can basically do everything that you need him to do at the running back position. Once again, I wouldn't be upset with Quinshon Judkins at Ohio State as well. I think he's also going to be an outstanding player. He just has a little bit more developing to do before he becomes that impact star player that NFL scouts expect him to be at the next level. So overall, Bears fans, I just wanted to come on here really quick and tell you what I heard from Eddie George and what he had to say about the Bears draft plans at the running back position. It doesn't surprise me whatsoever. We all understand that Ben Johnson wants to upgrade that position. But if you were general manager Ryan Poles, and just put your GM cap on here for a second, which player would you rather have on the Chicago Bears? TreVeyon Henderson or Quinshon Judkins out of Ohio State? Let me know down below which one you would choose in the comment section. But other than that, Bears fans, make sure you guys continue to hit that subscribe button and the notification to catch all Bears content right here on the podcast. Make sure you follow me on all my social media platforms. And make sure you share this episode of Keek on the Mic with every single Bears fan that you know. And once again, rest in peace, Virginia McCaskey. 102 beautiful years. Thank you so much for everything that you did for the city of Chicago, the Chicago Bears organization, and Chicago Bears fans. But other than that, be back for our all new Bears podcast right here on Keek on the Mic. Thanks, guys. And as always, bear down.
You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the Mic. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the Mic. You can go and subscribe cause I be on it right. You ain't bout it, you ain't bout it, you ain't Keek on the Mic.